Leo's spaceship touched the soft surface of the new planet with a gentle thud. The ground beneath him shimmered with faint blue light, and the air smelled fresh but strange, like a mix of flowers and metal. He stepped out of the ship carefully, his boots sinking slightly into the soft soil. The planet looked alive. Tall trees with silver trunks swayed even though there was no wind. Rivers ran like liquid glass, reflecting the twin suns in the sky. He had never seen a place like this. Leo checked his suit sensors. Everything seemed normal, but his heart beat fast. Exploration was always thrilling, but this was beyond anything he had imagined. He held his scanner and walked toward a nearby hill. From there, he could see the whole valley. That's when he noticed something moving near the river. At first, he thought they were animals, but as he got closer, he realized they were small beings, walking upright, playing and laughing. Their skin shimmered slightly, changing colors with their mood. Their eyes were big and bright. They had small hands and feet, and they moved with a grace that Leo had never seen in any human or animal. One little girl, smaller than the others, ran toward the edge of the water, her eyes wide with curiosity. Leo froze. She was staring at him. She tilted her head, studying him as if she wanted to understand everything about him in a single glance. The other children continued their play, unaware of the human visitor, but this little girl was different. She stepped closer and, without fear, reached her hand out to him. Leo blinked. He had never been approached like this. He looked around, unsure if he should pull back or stay still. She smiled, a small, bright smile, and took his hand gently. It was warm, soft, and trusting. Leo felt a strange calm. He smiled back and knelt down to her level. "Hello," he said softly. "I'm Leo. I come in peace." The girl giggled, a sound like chimes in the wind. She didn't speak in words, but Leo's translator caught small patterns in her tone. It was friendly. She pointed at the river, then at him, then at herself, as if inviting him to play. Leo hesitated. He had no idea what was safe. He had trained for dangerous planets, but this was different. These children seemed innocent, but he did not know the rules of their world. He took a deep breath and decided to trust them. He let her lead him closer to the river. The water sparkled in colors he could not name. Tiny creatures swam in it, glowing faintly as they moved. The little girl pointed at them, then at Leo, and laughed. She splashed water gently toward him. Leo laughed too, feeling more relaxed than he had in months. Suddenly, a shadow fell over the riverbank. The little girl's expression changed. She looked up, startled. Leo followed her gaze and froze. A giant figure stood behind them. Its skin was dark and smooth, and its eyes glowed like amber fire. Leo could feel its power even from a distance. Every muscle in his body tensed. The figure moved closer. The children stepped back, except for the little girl, who clung to Leo's hand. Her trust in him was clear. The giant leaned down slightly, and Leo realized it was the leader of these beings. It was the alien queen. Her face was beautiful but stern, and her gaze pierced through him. He could feel her questioning him without words. "Why is my daughter holding your hand?" The queen's voice was calm but full of authority. Leo swallowed hard. He had expected curiosity, maybe fear, but not this. Her words were precise, and every eye around him focused on him. I did not take her," Leo said, trying to keep his voice steady. "She came to me. I mean no harm." The queen's gaze remained sharp. Her glowing eyes scanned him slowly. Leo felt like she was reading his thoughts, understanding his intentions before he even spoke. The other children watched silently, unsure of what would happen. The little girl squeezed his hand slightly, as if asking him to be brave. Leo took a deep breath. "I am an explorer. I only want to learn about your world and make friends. I do not want to hurt anyone. The queen tilted her head. Her glowing eyes studied his face. For a moment, it seemed like she might attack, but then she stepped back slightly. She did not lower her authority, but there was a small flicker of curiosity in her expression. Leo noticed the other children relaxing slightly. They had never seen him speak to their queen without fear. He felt a small wave of hope. Perhaps he could earn their trust. The little girl tugged gently at his hand, encouraging him to move forward. Leo knelt again, closer to her level. He wanted to show he was friendly. "Can you show me where you play?" he asked. His voice was soft, patient. He wanted her to see he was sincere. The queen watched silently. Leo could feel her observing his every move. Her presence was intimidating, but he forced himself to stay calm. He did not want the little girl to feel unsafe. The girl led him along the riverbank. Leo noticed the incredible flora around them. Trees had leaves that glowed faintly, flowers opened and closed slowly as if breathing. Small creatures with wings like glass flitted around, and the air was alive with movement. Leo felt wonder and awe, but he also felt the weight of responsibility. He could not make a mistake. As they walked, Leo spoke softly to the girl. "Your world is amazing. I have never seen anything like this." She laughed again and pointed to a tree with golden vines. He smiled, trying to show he understood. The queen remained close, walking behind them. Her presence was strong, but she did not interfere. Leo realized she was watching not only him but also her daughter. The little girl held his hand tightly but looked back at the queen occasionally, making sure she was still there. Leo wondered what it must be like to be the queen, responsible for an entire people, yet careful with a single child. He felt respect for her growing with every step. Finally, the girl stopped near a large crystal formation. Other children gathered around, laughing and playing. She let go of Leo's hand but stayed close to him, watching his reactions. Leo smiled and waved to the group. The queen approached slowly, her gaze fixed on him. Leo bowed slightly, showing respect. He could see her studying him, trying to decide if he was truly a friend or a threat. "You are brave to come here," she said finally, her voice softer than before. "But bravery alone does not make trust." Leo nodded. "I understand. I will prove I mean no harm." The queen's eyes glowed faintly. She turned and signaled to the children. They began to play around Leo cautiously, testing him. The little girl stayed closest, holding his hand once more. Leo realized that this small gesture was a bridge between their worlds, a first step toward understanding. As the sun began to set, the twin suns casting a golden glow across the valley, Leo felt a strange sense of belonging. He was far from home, on a planet that seemed alive, yet he was not alone. The little girl looked up at him, smiled, and Leo knew that this was only the beginning of an adventure unlike anything he had ever imagined. Leo stood near the crystal formation, watching the little girl laugh and play with her friends. The colors of the planet were changing as the twin suns sank lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the valley. Everything was peaceful, but Leo knew that the presence of the alien queen meant he could not relax completely. She had power, authority, and the ability to see beyond ordinary understanding. Every moment, he felt her eyes on him, sharp and calculating. Suddenly, the ground trembled slightly. Leo turned toward the sound and saw a large figure moving gracefully toward them. The alien queen emerged from the shadows of the silver trees. Her tall form was elegant and strong. Her skin glimmered in golden tones, and her eyes glowed with amber light. Every step she took commanded respect and attention. Leo felt the weight of her presence press against him like a physical force. The children stopped playing immediately. The little girl clung to Leo's hand tightly. Her eyes were wide, but she did not step back. Instead, She held onto him as if she knew he would protect her. Leo knelt slightly to appear less threatening, but his heart raced with nervousness. The queen stopped a few feet away, her gaze fixed on him. The air around her felt charged, as if the very planet responded to her presence. She spoke, her voice clear and strong. "Why is my daughter holding your hand?" Leo's throat went dry. He had expected curiosity or caution, but not a question that carried the weight of command. He swallowed hard and spoke carefully. "She approached me first. I did not take her. I only wanted to show that I mean no harm." The queen's eyes glowed brighter for a moment. She tilted her head, studying him closely. Leo felt like she could see every thought in his mind. He imagined that she might know if he was lying, even before the words left his lips. The little girl squeezed his hand slightly, urging him to remain calm. "You are far from your own kind," the queen said slowly. "You have entered a world that does not belong to you. Many would fear you, and many would strike you down immediately. Yet you do not run. Why?" Leo paused. He wanted to answer honestly, but he also wanted to show respect. "I am an explorer. I have traveled to learn about new worlds, not to destroy them. I came here to understand, to make friends, and to share knowledge." The queen studied him silently for a long moment. Then she lifted her hand slightly, and a wave of energy pulsed through the air. It was not harmful, but it made Leo's chest tighten. He realized she was testing him, reading his intentions. He focused on remaining calm, keeping his breathing steady. The children began to move again, slowly resuming their play, but they stayed close to Leo. The little girl looked at him and smiled. Her trust gave him strength. He knew that earning the queen's trust would take more than words. He had to show that he was honest through his actions. The queen moved closer. Her eyes softened slightly, but her presence remained imposing. "You have courage," she said. "Courage alone is not enough. We value honesty, respect, and understanding above all. Actions speak louder than words." Leo nodded, determined to prove himself. "I will do my best to show you I am trustworthy." The queen watched him carefully. Then she gestured to the valley around them. "This land is full of wonders and dangers. You may walk freely, but your actions will be observed. Every step will be judged, for the safety of my people and my daughter." Leo understood the seriousness of her words. He looked at the little girl and gave her a reassuring smile. She giggled softly and led him toward a path that wound through the glowing forest. Leo followed, careful not to stumble over roots or rocks. He noticed small creatures darting among the trees, their bodies shining faintly. Birds with translucent wings sang melodic notes, filling the air with gentle music. The planet was alive in ways he had never imagined. As they walked, the queen's voice echoed behind them. "You will learn our ways, human. But trust is earned. Your heart will be tested, and your actions will be weighed against the values of this world." Leo nodded silently. He wanted to ask questions, but he sensed that she preferred observation before conversation. He turned his attention to the little girl, who pointed to a cluster of glowing flowers. Leo bent down and studied them. The petals were soft, shimmering with color as if reflecting emotions. He gently touched one, careful not to harm it. The little girl clapped her hands in delight, and Leo felt a small wave of relief. They walked deeper into the forest. Leo noticed small nests in the trees, each containing creatures with bright eyes. He marveled at the diversity and beauty around him. The little girl explained, with gestures and sounds, that the creatures were gentle and important to their world. Leo tried to understand, repeating her gestures and making sounds that the translator could interpret. She laughed each time he got it right, and Leo felt a bond forming. Suddenly, the queen appeared again, stepping from behind a massive tree. She moved without sound, her presence undeniable. Leo froze. The little girl held his hand tighter, looking up at her mother for reassurance. The queen studied him silently, her glowing eyes measuring his reactions. "You are brave to interact with my daughter," she said finally. "Many humans would fear me or attempt to deceive. You do not. That is interesting." Leo bowed slightly, showing respect. "I want to understand your world. I want to protect your people if I can. I want to be a friend." The queen considered his words. Then she raised her hand, and a small orb of light appeared in the air between them. The orb pulsed gently, and Leo felt a wave of calm wash over him. It was as if she was offering a form of communication beyond words. "You will learn," she said. "But remember, human, your actions will define your place here. My daughter trusts you, but trust is fragile. Protect it, and you will find allies. Fail, and you will be sent away." Leo nodded solemnly. He felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. He looked at the little girl, who smiled up at him, her hand still in his. He promised himself silently that he would not let her down. As the sun set completely, the forest glowed softly in the fading light. Leo knew that this world was beautiful, but it was also dangerous. He had entered a new chapter of his life, one that would test his courage, his honesty, and his heart. The little girl tugged at his hand again, leading him toward a hidden glade filled with sparkling plants and soft glowing rocks. Leo followed, feeling a mix of wonder and determination. He knew that earning the queen's trust would be a challenge, but he also felt a deep sense of purpose. He had come to explore, and now he had a reason to protect, to learn, and to grow. The alien queen watched silently from a distance, her glowing eyes fixed on Leo and her daughter. She did not yet fully trust him, but she saw promise. Perhaps this human could become more than a visitor. Perhaps he could become an ally, a friend, and a protector. Leo looked at the little girl and smiled. "Thank you for showing me your world," he said softly. She laughed and squeezed his hand. In that moment, he realized that their bond was the first step towards something greater, something that could change the future of both humans and this alien race. Leo walked carefully through the glowing forest, holding the little girl's hand. Her name, he learned from her gestures and sounds, was Mina. She was curious, brave, and full of energy. She skipped ahead, then turned back to make sure Leo was following. Every now and then, she laughed, pointing to the sparkling flowers or the tiny creatures that moved in the trees. Leo felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had never been this close to an alien civilization before. Everything was beautiful, but he knew that one wrong step could ruin the trust he was starting to build with Mina and her people. The alien queen's words echoed in his mind. Trust was fragile. Every action mattered. As they reached a clearing, Mina stopped and pointed toward a cluster of tall structures. They were elegant towers made of crystal-like material that reflected the soft glow of the forest. Leo had never seen anything like them. They shimmered with color and seemed to hum faintly, as if alive. Mina tugged at his hand, motioning for him to follow her closer. Suddenly, the alien queen appeared behind them. She moved silently, her presence commanding attention. Leo felt his heart race. He bowed slightly, showing respect. Mina looked up at her mother and squeezed Leo's hand. The queen's eyes glowed with an amber light as she studied him closely. "You are far from your home, human," she said in a voice that was both calm and strong. "You entered my world without permission. You could have been seen as a threat." Leo nodded. "I understand, Your Majesty. I meant no harm. I only wanted to learn about your world and its people. I hope you can see that I am honest." The queen's gaze remained fixed on him. She raised her hand, and a soft wave of energy passed over Leo. He felt it touch his mind gently, like a question being asked without words. He realized she was trying to understand his thoughts, his intentions, and his feelings. "I have heard your words," she said finally. But words are not enough. Actions define trust. Why did your presence not frighten my daughter? Leo thought carefully before speaking. Mina approached me first. She showed no fear. I held her hand because I wanted to show her that I could be trusted. I did not want her to feel alone or unsafe. The queen tilted her head, observing him carefully. Her glowing eyes seemed to look through him, measuring every emotion, every motive. Leo felt exposed, but he did not flinch. He knew he had to remain honest. You speak truth, she said after a long pause. Many humans would deceive or manipulate. You do not. Yet trust is not given lightly. It is earned. You must show that your actions align with your words. Leo bowed again. I will do everything I can to prove that I am trustworthy. I want to protect your people, not harm them. The queen's eyes softened slightly. She gestured toward the crystal towers. Follow me. You will see our ways, and you will learn our rules. But remember, every choice you make will be watched. Your behavior must match your intentions. Leo nodded and followed her. Mina ran ahead, chattering excitedly, pointing out small creatures and glowing plants. Leo smiled, feeling a sense of wonder and responsibility. He knew that the alien queen was testing him, but he also sensed a faint approval in her eyes. They reached the base of a tall crystal tower. The queen paused and looked at Leo. Inside this tower, we hold knowledge. You will see how we live, how we learn, and how we protect our people. Observe carefully, human. Your understanding will guide your future actions. Leo stepped forward, careful not to touch anything without permission. The interior of the tower was unlike anything he had imagined. Light flowed through the walls, creating patterns that shifted and changed as if alive. Shelves and platforms held strange devices and glowing books. He could feel the intelligence in every object, as if the tower itself was aware of their presence. Mina ran ahead, pointing to a floating orb that projected images into the air. Leo watched as the orb showed scenes of the planet, forests, rivers, mountains, and cities. He realized that this was a way the aliens taught their children and recorded their history. He reached out carefully, and the orb responded to his presence, showing images of humans on Earth. The queen's voice broke his focus. Observe. Learn. Do not interfere unless asked. Knowledge is sacred. Actions without understanding bring chaos. Leo nodded silently, absorbing every detail. He felt humbled. The aliens had a deep respect for life, knowledge, and trust. Their civilization was advanced in ways that humans had not yet imagined. He realized that earning their trust would require patience, respect, and courage. After some time, the queen led him to a small room filled with maps and glowing stones. She pointed to a large holographic display of the planet. These maps show our territory, our resources, and the places where danger may appear. You must understand them if you wish to be of help. Leo studied the maps carefully. He noticed regions marked with symbols he did not understand. The queen watched him silently. He realized that she was testing not only his intelligence but also his patience and attention to detail. As he worked, Mina sat nearby, watching him curiously. She pointed at one of the symbols and made a sound that Leo's translator interpreted as a question. He looked at the queen. She nodded slightly, allowing him to answer. That symbol means a safe zone, Leo said after studying it. It is a place where your people can rest without danger. The queen's eyes glowed faintly. Correct. You are learning. But understanding is only the first step. Actions will follow. Leo smiled faintly. He knew that he was gaining small trust, but the real challenge would come when he had to act to protect Mina and her people. Suddenly, a small alarm sounded in the tower. The queen's eyes narrowed. You see, human, knowledge alone does not protect. One must also be ready to act. You will see the threats that loom over our world. Leo followed her to a viewing platform. From there, he could see the horizon. Dark ships moved across the sky, distant but clearly approaching. Leo realized that the aliens were not only peaceful and intelligent, but they were also under threat. The Queen's people relied on vigilance, strategy, and courage to survive. You must understand, human, the Queen said. Our children must be safe. Our people must be protected. Your actions will determine whether you are friend or stranger. Leo nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle over him. Mina held his hand tightly, looking at him with trust and hope. He knew that he could not fail. He had come to explore a new world, but now he had a mission far greater than discovery. He had to protect a life, a people, and earn the respect of the alien queen. As the sun set and the sky turned deep shades of blue and purple, Leo felt a determination he had never known before. He would learn the ways of this planet, understand its rules, and prove through his actions that he was worthy of trust. The alien queen watched silently from the platform. Her eyes glowed faintly, a mixture of caution and curiosity. She did not yet fully trust him, but she saw promise. Perhaps this human could become more than a visitor. Perhaps he could become a protector, a student of their ways, and a friend. Leo looked at Mina and smiled. "We will be ready," he said softly. She giggled and squeezed his hand. In that simple gesture, he felt the first true connection between their worlds. The next morning, the twin suns rose slowly, casting soft golden light across the valley. Leo woke inside a small dwelling built of glowing crystals. Mina had led him here the night before. The dwelling was simple but elegant. Light flowed through the walls, changing colors softly with the rising sun. Leo stepped outside, feeling the warmth of the day. Mina waited for him, bouncing on her small feet with excitement. She pointed toward a nearby village where many other aliens were beginning their day. Leo followed her, careful not to step on the delicate plants that glowed softly on the ground. Every step revealed more wonders of the planet. Tiny creatures with shining wings darted around, and the air was filled with a faint hum of energy that seemed alive. The villagers paused and looked at Leo, some with curiosity, others with caution. Mina squeezed his hand and ran ahead, showing him the paths and places he could walk. Leo realized that every movement, every interaction mattered. This was a world built on respect, observation, and careful action. The first stop was the training grounds. Children and young aliens were practicing coordination, balance, and teamwork. Leo watched as they moved in perfect harmony, their bodies agile and precise. Mina joined them, showing off her skills. Leo tried to follow her movements, awkwardly copying her gestures. She laughed, pointing to him and demonstrating again. He felt a smile spread across his face. Learning through play was how these children grew strong and wise. The queen appeared at the edge of the training grounds. Her presence was commanding, but she did not interrupt the activities. Instead, she observed, her ember eyes scanning every movement. Leo noticed her studying him carefully. She wanted to see how he would interact with the children, how he would follow the rules, and how he would respect the order of their society. After some time, Leo was invited to the council hall. It was a large space filled with glowing crystals and suspended platforms. The air vibrated with a quiet energy. The queen gestured for him to enter, and he stepped inside with Mina by his side. The council members, aliens of various sizes and colors, watched Leo closely. Their expressions were calm but curious. Leo bowed slightly. "I am honored to meet you," he said softly. His voice was calm, but he could feel the weight of their gaze. One of the council members, a tall alien with silver skin, spoke first. "Human, you have entered our world with honesty. You have not harmed us, but you must understand our ways. You must learn our rules and customs if you wish to be accepted." Leo nodded. "I want to learn. I want to understand your world and help in any way I can. The council members' eyes glowed faintly. Then you will observe, listen, and act with respect. Your actions will show your intentions more than words ever can. For the next several hours, Leo followed the council members and the children, learning about their culture. He discovered that this species valued trust, courage, and understanding above all. Every action was deliberate. Every interaction had meaning. Even play was a way to learn responsibility and teamwork. Mina showed him the Library of Light. It was a large space filled with floating orbs that contained knowledge of the planet. Leo touched one, and it projected images and sounds. He saw the history of their civilization, the challenges they had faced, and the victories they had achieved. He realized that these beings were intelligent, wise, and deeply connected to their world. The Queen watched silently from a balcony above. Leo could feel her attention on him at all times. He understood that gaining her trust would require more than curiosity, it would require understanding, patience, and courage. As the day passed, Leo learned the customs of greetings, respect, and communication. He discovered that certain gestures showed trust, while others were warnings. He practiced speaking in their tones, and Mina giggled each time he got it right. He felt a growing bond with her, realizing that their connection was more than friendship, it was trust built through shared experiences. Later, the Queen approached him. Her steps were quiet but deliberate. She stopped and looked at him closely. You are learning quickly, human. Your presence does not disrupt our order, and your actions show respect. This pleases me, but you are not yet fully trusted. Leo bowed. I understand, Your Majesty. I will continue to learn and act with respect. She nodded slowly. Good. Observe and remember. Knowledge without action is empty. One day, you may be tested, and your understanding will guide your decisions. The day continued with lessons in observation and survival. Leo followed Mina and the other children into the forests, learning which plants were safe to touch, which paths were secure, and how to read the subtle signs of the environment. The planet was alive in every detail, and every lesson taught him respect for the delicate balance of life. At one point, they encountered a small creature trapped in glowing vines. Mina pointed urgently to it. Leo approached carefully, remembering the lessons of patience and precision. He gently untangled the creature, freeing it. Mina clapped her hands and smiled at him. The Queen, observing from a distance, nodded slightly. Leo felt a small sense of accomplishment. He realized that actions like this, small as they were what built trust in this world. As the twin suns began to set, casting long shadows across the forest, Leo sat with Mina near a glowing river. The water reflected their images, and the soft hum of the planet created a peaceful melody. He looked at her and smiled. Thank you for teaching me today, Mina. I am learning so much. She laughed softly, squeezing his hand. Leo realized that this connection was more important than any technology or knowledge he had brought from Earth. It was the first true bond between human and alien, built on trust, respect, and shared experiences. The Queen appeared once more at the edge of the river. Her presence was serene but commanding. You have learned much today, human. You have observed our customs, helped our people, and shown respect. This pleases me, but remember that understanding is only the first step. True trust comes from continued action and courage. Leo bowed again. I will do my best, Your Majesty. I promise to protect Mina and your people, and to honor the lessons you teach me. The Queen's amber eyes glowed faintly, a sign of cautious approval. She stepped back, allowing Leo and Mina to continue their walk along the river. Leo felt a growing sense of responsibility. He was no longer just an explorer. He was a student, a protector, and a friend to this world. As night fell and the stars began to shine in the sky, Leo realized that he had taken the first steps toward earning the trust of an entire civilization. Mina held his hand, and he felt the warmth of her trust. The path ahead was filled with lessons, challenges, and dangers, but he was ready. He had learned much in a single day, and he knew that his actions tomorrow would matter even more. The glow of the river reflected the twin moons rising above the horizon. Leo felt a deep connection to this world, to its people, and to Mina. The alien queen's gaze followed him, full of watchfulness and cautious respect. Leo knew that his journey had only just begun, and that the lessons he learned here would shape not only his future but the future of human and alien friendship alike. The morning on the glowing planet was calm, but Leo could feel tension in the air. He walked with Mina through the forest, noticing how alert she was, her small hands gripping his as if she expected danger at any moment. The lessons of the past days had taught him patience, respect, and observation, and now he realized that they would be needed for more than learning. Suddenly, a deep rumble shook the ground. Leo stopped and looked up. The twin suns reflected off a distant sky, and in the distance, he could see dark shapes moving. They were not creatures of the planet. The shapes were large, metallic, and foreign. Leo's heart raced. He recognized them immediately as ships. Alien ships, but not from this planet. Their intent seemed hostile. Mina tugged his hand urgently and whispered with a tone of alarm. Leo bent down to her level. "We need to be careful," he said softly. "We need to warn your people." The little girl nodded, her eyes wide. She ran ahead, and Leo followed, moving quickly but carefully. The trees around them glowed faintly as he passed, and he realized that the energy of the planet seemed to respond to fear and alertness. Every step mattered. They reached the central village, where the alien queen was already standing on a raised platform, observing the horizon. The dark ships were closer now. Leo could see that they were armed, their structure designed for attack. The queen's face was calm but serious. Her eyes glowed amber, and Leo felt her command over the surroundings. The villagers began preparing defenses, moving with discipline and precision. The queen turned to Leo. "You see, human, not all who come to our world come in peace. These ships are here to take what is not theirs, to harm our people. Your presence here is no longer only about learning. You must decide how to act." Leo took a deep breath. "I will help," he said. "I know how to use strategy, how to make use of terrain and tools. I can help protect your people." The queen's eyes narrowed. "Many humans would only create chaos. You must prove that your knowledge and courage are worthy of trust." Leo nodded. "I understand. I will do my best." He looked at the forest, thinking quickly. He noticed the glowing plants, the rivers, and the terrain. If used wisely, they could create obstacles for the attacking fleet. He turned to the queen. "If I can set traps using the natural energy of the planet, we can slow them down. We can protect your people without unnecessary loss." The queen considered his words. Then she gestured for the village leaders to follow him. "You will demonstrate your understanding, human. Show us your plan, and we will decide if it can be trusted." Leo spent the next few hours working with the alien engineers and scouts. He suggested using reflective crystals to confuse the enemy ships, and small energy pulses from the plants to slow their approach. Mina stayed close, helping where she could, holding his hand when tasks became difficult. Leo felt the weight of responsibility, knowing that the safety of the entire civilization rested on careful planning and precise action. The dark ships moved closer, and the villagers positioned themselves along the river and the forest edge. Leo pointed to the best locations for ambushes and traps. He explained each move clearly, demonstrating how the energy from the glowing plants could interfere with the ship's sensors. The queen watched silently, her ember eyes focused on every detail. As the first ships entered range, Leo's plan was tested. He activated the energy pulses, and the reflective crystals scattered light across the sky. The attacking ships slowed, confused by the unexpected tactics. Leo moved quickly, coordinating the defenders, giving instructions, and adjusting strategies as the situation evolved. The villagers followed his guidance perfectly, their movements precise and disciplined. Mina ran alongside him, her small hands helping with simple tasks, her laughter and energy lifting his spirits even during tense moments. Leo realized that courage was not only in leadership but also in trust and collaboration. The dark ships attempted to advance, but the traps and obstacles Leo had set forced them to slow down and maneuver carefully. The defenders used their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. Energy pulses, crystal reflections, and natural barriers created confusion for the attackers, giving the Queen's forces the upper hand. During the battle, Leo noticed one of the ships breaking formation and heading directly toward the village. Without hesitation, he ran ahead, signaling the villagers to adjust their defenses. Using a combination of quick thinking and human intuition, he guided the energy from the plants to block the ship's path, forcing it to retreat. The Queen watched from her platform, her eyes glowing brighter. She observed not only his intelligence but also his courage and willingness to act under pressure. She had seen many try and fail, but Leo's calm determination and clear thinking impressed her. Finally, after what felt like hours, the attacking ships retreated. The villagers cheered, and Mina ran to Leo, hugging his hand tightly. He smiled, feeling relief and accomplishment. The battle was won, not through brute force, but through clever strategy, cooperation, and trust between humans and aliens. The Queen descended from her platform and approached Leo. Her presence was commanding, but there was a faint glow of respect in her eyes. "You acted wisely, human. Your knowledge, courage, and quick thinking have protected my people. You have shown that trust in your abilities was not misplaced." Leo bowed. "I only followed what I knew and what I could observe. Your people were brave, and Mina helped me more than she knows. I could not have done it alone." The Queen nodded. "You have shown that actions speak louder than words. Trust is earned, and you have earned it today. But remember, human, threats will continue to come. Your courage must remain steady, and your decisions must honor the values of this world." Leo looked at Mina, who was smiling proudly. "I understand," he said softly. "I will continue to learn and protect, just as I promised." The Queen's amber eyes glowed faintly. "Good. Today, you have proven yourself not only to me but to all of my people. You have become more than a visitor. You have become a protector and a friend." As the twin suns set, casting golden light over the recovering village, Leo felt a sense of purpose deeper than he had ever known. He realized that his journey on this planet was no longer just exploration. He had a mission, a duty, and a connection to a world and its people unlike any other. Mina held his hand as they walked along the river, and Leo understood that this small gesture symbolized something far greater than words. It was trust, courage, and friendship intertwined. The battle had tested them all, and together, they had proven that humans and aliens could work in harmony. The Queen watched from her tower, her presence a reminder of the weight of responsibility and the power of trust. Leo knew that the path ahead would have more challenges, but he was ready. With knowledge, courage, and the bond he shared with Mina, he could face whatever came next. As night fell, the stars reflected in the river, and Leo felt a deep sense of connection to this world. He had learned that bravery was not only in action but also in understanding, patience, and trust. He looked at Mina and smiled, ready for whatever the next day would bring. The following day, the valley was alive with energy. Leo stood beside Mina, watching as the alien children and villagers prepared for what might come next. The battle from the day before had tested everyone, but it had also strengthened their resolve. Leo knew the next challenge could be greater, and he needed to be ready. The alien queen appeared at the edge of the village, her glowing eyes surveying the preparations. Her presence commanded attention, but she did not speak immediately. Instead, she observed, waiting to see how the humans and aliens would work together. Leo felt her gaze on him, strong yet cautious, as if weighing every move he made. "Human," she said finally, her voice calm but filled with authority. "The attacks may return. Your strategy yesterday was effective, but cooperation must continue. You will guide my people in preparation, combining your knowledge with our abilities. We must act as one." Leo nodded. "I will do my best, Your Majesty. Together, we can protect this world." Mina tugged at his hand and ran toward a nearby cluster of glowing trees. "Follow me," she said with a bright smile. She led him through narrow paths and hidden clearings, showing him areas where traps and barriers could be placed. Leo noted every detail, understanding how to use the terrain to their advantage. The Queen joined them, walking silently beside Leo. Her ember eyes scanned the environment, observing the subtle details he pointed out. "Your understanding of the land is impressive," she said. "You see patterns that even some of my scouts might miss. This may give us an advantage against the invaders." Leo felt a surge of determination. "I have learned from observation and from Mina. Your people's skills are extraordinary. If we combine knowledge and ability, we can create defenses they cannot easily overcome." The Queen nodded. "Good. Then let the work begin." For hours, Leo, the Queen, and the villagers worked together. Leo suggested using reflective crystals to confuse approaching ships, small energy pulses from the glowing plants to interfere with sensors, and hidden trenches along the river to slow down any landing forces. The alien engineers and scouts followed his instructions with precision. Mina helped where she could, holding his hand as she carried small supplies and offering encouragement to the younger children. As they worked, Leo noticed the coordination of the aliens. Every movement was deliberate, every action had a purpose. Their discipline reminded him of humans trained in strategy and teamwork, but it was combined with intuition and connection to the planet itself. Leo realized that this unity between intelligence and instinct was a powerful combination. Suddenly, a scout rushed to them. "The fleet is approaching again," he said, his voice urgent. Leo and the Queen turned toward the horizon. Dark shapes moved against the sky, distant but clearly heading for the planet. Their numbers were larger than yesterday, and their speed suggested they were determined to strike. Leo clenched his fists. "We must act quickly. Position the defenders along the river and forests, activate the energy pulses. Use the reflective crystals as screens and barriers. We will make them face obstacles at every step." The Queen's eyes glowed brighter, a sign of approval. "Your command is precise. Let it be done." The villagers moved with efficiency. Leo guided them, pointing to specific locations, adjusting strategies, and giving clear instructions. Mina ran alongside him, helping the younger children and offering encouragement. Her bravery inspired him, and he felt the strength of their bond as they worked together. When the first enemy ships entered the planet's atmosphere, the defenses sprang into action. Reflective crystals scattered light across the sky, confusing the sensors of the approaching fleet. Energy pulses from the glowing plants created interference, slowing their progress. Hidden trenches along the river forced the ships to maneuver carefully, giving the defenders the advantage. Leo moved swiftly, coordinating the efforts of the humans and aliens. He shouted instructions, adjusted strategies, and ensured that every action was synchronized. The Queen watched from a high platform, her eyes glowing with admiration. She had seen many attempt to guide her people, but Leo's ability to act with clarity, courage, and respect impressed her deeply. One of the enemy ships broke formation and headed toward the village. Leo reacted instantly. He directed a group of villagers to block its path using energy pulses and terrain obstacles. Mina held his hand, helping to carry a small device that amplified the pulses. Together, they managed to force the ship back, preventing it from reaching the settlement. The other ships faltered, confused by the combined strategy. They tried to adapt, but the coordination of humans and aliens was too strong. Every movement, every obstacle, every defense worked together to repel the attack. Leo felt a surge of hope. Their unity, intelligence, and courage were winning the day. Finally, after what seemed like hours, the fleet retreated. The villagers cheered, and Mina ran to Leo, hugging his hand tightly. He smiled, feeling relief and accomplishment. The combined efforts of humans and aliens had defended the planet, not through raw power, but through clever strategy, teamwork, and trust. The alien queen descended to the village, her steps commanding yet graceful. She stopped in front of Leo and Mina. "Human," she said, her ember eyes glowing warmly, "today you have shown more than knowledge. You have shown courage, leadership, and respect for my people. You have proven that trust in your abilities was not misplaced." Leo bowed. "I only did what I could, Your Majesty. Mina and your people helped me every step of the way. I could not have done it alone." The Queen nodded. "You have shown that humans and aliens can unite when guided by respect and understanding. Today marks the beginning of a stronger bond between our worlds. Your actions have earned my respect and the respect of all my people." Mina laughed happily, squeezing Leo's hand. "We did it," she said. Leo smiled, looking around at the village. The people were celebrating, but he knew that this victory was also a lesson. Courage, intelligence, and trust were more powerful than weapons alone. By working together, they had protected the planet and demonstrated the strength of unity. The Queen watched silently, her gaze full of cautious respect. She knew that Leo had proven himself not only through strategy but also through understanding and care for her people. His bond with Mina, his respect for the planet, and his ability to act wisely had earned her confidence. As the twin moons rose in the sky, casting silver light over the valley, Leo felt a sense of purpose deeper than ever before. He had started as a visitor, a human explorer curious about a new world. Now, he was a protector, a leader, and a friend to an entire civilization. Mina held his hand as they walked along the river, and Leo realized the true power of trust and unity. Humans and aliens could achieve incredible things when guided by courage, respect, and understanding. He looked at the Queen, who nodded slightly, acknowledging his growth. The stars reflected on the river's surface, and Leo felt a deep connection to the planet, its people, and the bond he shared with Mina. Together, they had faced danger, defended the innocent, and proved that friendship and cooperation could overcome any threat. Leo knew that challenges would continue, but he felt ready. With knowledge, courage, and the trust of his friends, he could face whatever came next. The bond between humans and aliens was no longer fragile, it was strong, tested in action, and built to last. As the night settled over the glowing planet, Leo took a deep breath. Tomorrow would bring new lessons and new challenges, but he felt certain that together, they could overcome anything. Mina squeezed his hand one last time before leading him back toward the village. Leo smiled. The journey was far from over, but for the first time, he felt that he truly belonged. The next morning, the glowing planet felt calm, but Leo knew that peace was fragile. The dark ships from the previous attack were gone, but the threat had not fully vanished. The alien queen stood on her platform, her ember eyes glowing with authority and caution. Today would be a test not of strategy alone, but of trust, courage, and understanding. Leo stood beside Mina, who clung to his hand with a quiet determination. He had grown in confidence over the past days. He had learned their ways, studied their customs, and fought alongside their people. Now, he understood that the bond he shared with Mina and the Queen was more than friendship. It was trust, a bridge between two worlds. The Queen's voice cut through the soft morning light. "Human, you have proven yourself through knowledge, courage, and action. But trust is more than the absence of fear. It is the willingness to act for the good of others, even at risk to oneself. Today, I will see if your heart is worthy of complete trust." Leo bowed respectfully. I understand, Your Majesty. I will do what is right. Mina squeezed his hand and ran ahead, leading him toward the edge of a wide valley. The alien villagers followed, moving silently and carefully. Leo noticed that the valley had been prepared in advance. The reflective crystals, energy pulses, and barriers from previous days were in place, but there was more. The Queen had added new layers of defense, creating a test that would challenge not only strategy but courage and quick thinking. As they reached the center of the valley, a distant rumble grew into a roar. Dark ships appeared on the horizon, larger and more numerous than before. Leo's heart raced, but he did not panic. He had learned from past experiences. He knew that fear would only cloud judgment. He took a deep breath and observed. The test begins, the Queen said, her voice calm but commanding. You must guide my people and defend this valley. Success will show that you are worthy of trust. Failure will have consequences. Leo nodded. I will do my best. The first wave of ships approached quickly. Leo signaled the villagers to activate the energy pulses and scatter the reflective crystals. Mina ran alongside him, carrying a small device that enhanced the energy field. Leo gave clear instructions, pointing to positions that would slow the ships and protect the villagers. The battle began. Ships advanced, but Leo's planning and the villagers' precise movements created confusion. Light reflected off the crystals, creating illusions that hid defenders and misled the enemy. Energy pulses disrupted the ship's sensors, forcing them to maneuver slowly and carefully. One of the larger ships broke formation, heading toward a group of villagers. Leo reacted immediately. He directed an energy pulse to create a barrier, while Mina and a group of children helped guide civilians to safety. The ship faltered, unable to advance, and retreated under the combined efforts of Leo and the villagers. The Queen observed quietly from her platform. Her glowing eyes followed Leo's every movement, noting not only his intelligence but his courage and calm under pressure. She saw how he treated the villagers with respect, how he guided Mina, and how he acted for the greater good rather than personal safety. As the battle continued, another challenge appeared. A ship released a small landing pod, heading for the valley floor. Leo realized that if it landed, it could disrupt the defenses and harm the people. He ran ahead, calculating the path and timing carefully. Using a combination of energy pulses and reflective crystals, he created a barrier that forced the pod to veer off course. The villagers quickly moved to secure it, neutralizing the threat without harm. Mina cheered, her excitement giving Leo strength. Together, they continued coordinating defenses, moving swiftly and efficiently. The aliens responded perfectly, following instructions with precision and trust. Every action built on the previous, creating a system that repelled the attacking forces. Finally, after a long struggle, the dark ships began to retreat. Leo signaled the villagers to maintain their positions until the threat had passed completely. The valley fell silent, the glowing plants humming softly in relief. Leo looked around at the people he had helped protect, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment and connection. The Queen descended from her platform and approached him. Her ember eyes glowed with warmth and respect. Human, you have demonstrated courage, wisdom, and understanding. You acted not for yourself, but for the protection of my people. You have earned the highest trust. You are no longer only a visitor. You are a friend and a protector of this world. Leo bowed deeply. I am honored, Your Majesty. I will continue to protect this world and its people, and I will honor the trust you have given me. Mina ran to him, hugging his hand tightly. You did it, Leo, she said, her laughter bright and joyful. The Queen watched them, a faint smile on her face. You have shown that trust can bridge worlds. Humans and aliens, together, can achieve what neither could alone. Today, bonds were forged in courage and action, and they will endure. Leo looked around the valley. The villagers were celebrating quietly, repairing defenses and caring for the wounded, but their joy was tempered by respect for the lessons learned. Leo realized that this victory was not just about defeating an enemy. It was about understanding, cooperation, and shared purpose. As the twin moons rose in the sky, casting soft light across the valley, Leo felt a deep connection to this world, to Mina, and to the alien queen. He knew that the journey ahead would continue, but he also knew that trust, courage, and friendship had created a foundation that could withstand any challenge. The queen spoke one last time. "Human, you have shown that your heart is true. You have proven that humans can be allies, protectors, and friends to our people. This is a rare gift. Remember it, and continue to act with wisdom, respect, and courage." Leo nodded. "I will, Your Majesty. I promise." Mina laughed again, running ahead to show Leo a hidden grove of glowing flowers. Leo followed, smiling. He realized that their bond, formed through trust, action, and understanding, was the true reward of this journey. He had started as a visitor, curious about a new world, but now he was part of it. He was a protector, a student of their ways, and a friend. As they walked through the grove, Leo felt the soft hum of the planet around him. Every plant, every creature, every light seemed to acknowledge his presence. He understood that this world was alive in a way that required respect, care, and courage. The queen watched from a distance, her gaze full of quiet approval. Leo had not only earned her trust but had also demonstrated the potential for humans and aliens to work together for the greater good. The bond between their worlds had been strengthened, and Leo knew that it would continue to grow. Mina squeezed his hand one last time before running ahead to join her friends. Leo smiled, feeling a warmth he had never known. Trust had been forged in action and courage, and he had become part of something larger than himself. The twin moons reflected in the glowing river, and Leo took a deep breath. Tomorrow would bring new lessons and new challenges, but he was ready. He had knowledge, courage, and the trust of friends from another world. He looked at the queen, who nodded slightly, acknowledging his growth. Leo realized that his journey had reached a turning point. He had earned trust, formed bonds, and proved that humans could be allies to worlds far beyond their own. The future was uncertain, but with courage, understanding, and friendship, anything was possible. And so, under the light of the twin moons, Leo's story on this alien planet came full circle. He had arrived as a visitor, faced danger, learned new ways, and earned the trust of the alien queen and her people. He was no longer only an explorer. He was a protector, a friend, and a symbol of what humans could achieve when guided by courage, respect, and action. The glowing plants swayed gently in the evening breeze, the valley hummed softly, and Leo looked toward the horizon. He felt hope, purpose, and belonging. This was a beginning, not an end. He held Mina's hand one last time as they walked back to the village. Together, humans and aliens had proven that trust, courage, and unity could overcome any challenge. The bond between their worlds had been sealed, and the future shone brightly like the glowing plants under the twin moons.